Everybody, it's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, for Live Talk Forum here on Wednesday evenings at 7:15. Every Wednesday we have it here at the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We have a live studio audience as well as here on Facebook. I know it's early, so you guys haven't come on yet. We have a few people in here, which is great tonight. Thanks for coming. I know it's chilly out, And we have our traditional Sophia tonight. We have Vic and Maria here tonight. Don't worry, I won't say anything more about your names. Does that make sense? Because they're generic, Yeah, that way you're comfortable. Unless you want to give more information, I will not give more information. Does that make sense? Yeah, that way you're comfortable and everybody's comfortable. And most of the people come online, they already know how it rolls. If you want to be anonymous, you basically call in through personal messenger or phone so that you can be anonymous. You know what I mean? So if you have sometimes people will have really big personal questions, and a lot of that stuff, if it's too personal and there's something called boundaries. If it's too personal, then I'll be like, we have to talk about this later. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we are always governed by higher knowing and the law of universal law here. So in earth world as well as metaphysical, all that is God. That's what the show is about, balancing metaphysical with earth world. All right. And so the law of universe of Saturn's earth world as well as all that is God or love. Make sense? All right. So thanks for coming. I'm super grateful. And thank you guys. I see you guys all coming on here. Hey, everybody. Hey. I hope you can hear me. Did anyone check the volume, Ray? Did anyone check the volume here? Okay, terrific. Sophia's here with us as well. I got my faithful assistants, Jennifer and Ray. Jennifer's wild tonight. I want to warn you guys. She's doing some kind of crazy shit over here. She's crazy. All right. So tonight, we didn't advertise for anything specifically special, but there is cool stuff to talk about. It's been a crazy week, a lot of healing, a lot of energy work, a lot of stuff going on in our personal lives and with the stars for everybody. Again, the show is on donation. If you can donate, do. We've talked about this a million times. I feel like a broken record when I talk about this. But how do you donate? You donate energetically. You donate by coming to our shopping center. You donate, by patronizing our shopping center, by monetary donations if you can. Whatever you give, guided by higher knowing with your heart. Okay, always with your heart. Okay, and that's for all of us. Okay, hey, everybody. I see you guys coming on. So thank you all for coming. We got an interesting show for you this week. We're going to talk a little bit about astrology, okay? And our show, as you know, we talk about astrology, all the formulas of God, love, and we basically are a guide for these times to teach the God's honest truth here in earth world and metaphysically, and we bridge those borders or everything that is God and love with earth world. So we have questions. We answer your questions. We do a psychic Q&A as well. So if you have questions, anything you want to know, that's what we do. And it's designed to help people. So you can ask about the collective. You can ask about your personal life. Rachel and Jennifer and Sophia also usually have questions weekly as well. So we keep the ball rolling. We have questions from last week and questions from this week as well. So anyways, hey guys, so Rachel, who's here?
We have Nikki, Teresa,
okay.
Steve and Mark, Marcy Bolton, Kathy, Sarah Sutra, and
excellent.
Dee.
Okay, hey everybody, thanks for coming. Hey, thanks for coming. And thank you everybody for your donations. I don't know if I thank you guys enough or verbally, but we are super grateful. Everybody who donates, whatever you donate, thank you very much. We're super, super grateful. Everything helps in these times from love always. All right. So do we have questions from last week, Rachel?
Not anybody that's here right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually we won't answer questions if you're not here in present, because otherwise then you miss it and then we have to tell you what show that is and we got to find it, or you have to go back and find it. So we like to do the questions for everybody who is present to get them answered. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So how about, so we have none from last week. Any questions from this week? Anybody's got any questions for tonight? How you guys all doing? You got any questions out there?
Nikki's got one.
Nikki! All right, girl. Go ahead. Shoot.
She said, she's asking for a psychic gallery. She'd like to speak to Patrick O'Neill. He died in 2013 and she's been coming in for a few days. Or he's been coming in for a few days, rather.
Okay. Nikki, is Patrick O'Neill, when I get in the energy, he feels like a gentleman that I think we have talked about, who is kind of bi or confused with his sexuality in some way, shape, or form. There's a lot of confusion around him in terms of his sexuality. I feel like he's either bi or trans, but he comes in as having this energy, and he's not really sure in him. I feel that he is the gentleman that I think we've talked a little bit about him. I feel he has he's the gentleman that committed suicide. I feel he was a good friend to you. And there's no doubt that he loves you, and he's around you a lot. This has everything to do with your healing and the healing work that you're doing. It's kind of like stones left unturned, things that you didn't get to say, feelings that you're having that are coming out, visions, energy, time, basically time, energy that needs to be released. So this is all part of why he's around, and I do feel that he's around you. There's a warm pink color that they're showing me, kind of like these walls that are in here in our space, in our spaces here. It's like a warm lavenderish pink. You know what I'm talking about? And Jennifer, why are you laughing? It was something up?
Oh, just the comments.
Oh, okay. All right. So Jennifer's in her own little world over there laughing. Okay. All right. So, what is his first name?
Patrick.
He feels like he's got like some kind of, what is it? There's saint. The word saint comes in with him. What is his name?
Patrick O'Neill.
Okay. Yeah. Because like a saint something comes in, like a saint, like a Saint Marie or a saint this or a saint that. The word saint is coming in with him. Now it could be, for sure that he's just such a warm, beautiful soul, and he feels that, and so the saint energy is coming in with him. But I feel like somewhere in his name, either he changed his name, or there was like a John Claude Saint Marie or something like that. There's like a name. There's more to this. I feel like he either changed his name or went by different names or added names, but there feels like there's an original name in here for him, and it's a saint name. But he also, that's no accident, because your name tells us who you are. So the saint thing is he's going to have a lot of that energy of healing and being there for people in the saint energy. He does come in for being around you. It's basically unsettled energies in you, between you. So this is a great time. If there's anything that you want to say to him, talk to him about, or just release energy about, pray on it, ask universe, ask love to release it and put the best way to be from love. If there's anything that you want to ask him or you need to know, it will usually come right in with the natural releases from the energy work and the ancestral work that you're doing, and the work that you do all the time on your soul. Because I know you, Nikki, you do a lot of metaphysical work. You're not your average, Joe who does it once in a while. You're like on it. So, and kudos to you for that. You do a great job. But this is what's coming in with all this. It's all about healing. Is there anything you want me to ask, or and I will ask him, is there anything that he wants to say? It's funny because he kind of like floats about 2 feet off the floor. He's floating, and he's showing me like a ghost kind of a soul, right? So he's floating like 2 feet off the floor, and he's like floating around your kitchen and around your house, and he's like in a robe. So like a long robe. And almost what he's showing me is like a red velour robe with like white fuzz. Now, this is really funny. And black leopard spots on the white fuzz, right? And to me, that totally is who he wants to be represented as or seen. A very loving soul. And he's kind of like magical, but he doesn't put his feet on the ground, right? So to me, he's not really present. He wasn't present in life. He was all caught up in all the stuff going on, the drama, everything that is him. And there's a lot of confusion about that, but overall, and he's a lovely, lovely soul in his heart. So, is there any questions, Rachel, that she says she has for him?
She's typed in yet.
Okay. Okay. And what was her original question one more time? So I'm going to see if I can pull anything else from it, or if there's anything else that he wants to say.
She just said that she would like to speak to him, that he's been coming in for her for a few days.
Yeah, the biggest thing that he wants to say is that he loves you, Nikki. He loves you so much. And that's so more often than not, it sounds like a broken record because I feel like I say this a lot. But really, that's all that matters. Love is healing. So a lot of times, souls that we haven't seen in a while, people that we love, that's what they want to say. They want to reassure us that they love us. And again, that's what he's doing here. That's definitely what he's doing here. Okay, if there's anything you want to ask him, Nikki, please do. He's kind of floating around in the energy of your house. He likes what you He's telling me he likes what you've done with the place. Remember how I saw you sent me those pictures the other day? He says he likes it. He likes it. It's quite lovely. And that tells me that he knows what's going on and he periodically like drops in, you know. But I feel like this is more of a goodbye. This is about letting him go, letting any toxic or bad or unwell feelings that you have, you know, that are stored in the energy of you, and you're releasing all of this. And we just did some incredible healing work in the class the other day. We did timelines going back in time through astrology, incredible work, so that we could go back to before we were born, so to speak. To put it in like layman's terms so everybody can understand it, going back through the solar return chart and your birthday by a year, guided by higher knowing. That's why I always call it God astrology. We did that this week, and we were able to pull out so many amazing things by going back in time to pull this stuff out. And it was a master learning healing class, and everybody in the class had to really wrap their heads around it because it's complex. Because basically you're going back in time using astrology. So what happened was we were able to see how our parents felt, what was going on in them before, like with the time of conception and like we were conceived, as well as being pregnant. So, you know, what it was like to be in the womb. And also it mirrored the energy work, the ancestral energy work that we did on Sunday. Fascinating shit. And you know by what is happening in your reality because how powerful it really is. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's really, really powerful stuff. And so he is here because of this energy work. So it's like a last time kind of healing. And it doesn't mean that he can't ever come back. I feel like it's complete. Your relationship, these feelings, these emotions, all of this is complete for you guys. And you can always call him back if you have any questions, but it is finished now, right? Or anything that is unquestionable, not that you're like wondering about kind of thing. You know, all this energy is basically being put to rest. And unless you have any other questions, this is what universe is telling me. I don't really feel like you have any more, but if you do, or something that you want to add to this, please do, Nick. Okay. Okay. So there you have it. So, and this is great. So everybody in our live audience too, and anybody who's new here, that you can see how we do this. We just answer the questions guided by higher knowing. And then it gives you guys some great ideas about what you want to do or what you're feeling and what you can ask. You know what I mean? Yeah. Cool shit. Cool shit. And for you guys here who always come, always, right? All right. So thanks for coming again. And Rachel, who else? Any other questions? Jen has the next one.
Marcy Bolton.
All right.
She says her brother Scott passed away. It's coming up on a year in July. She was estranged from him for many years. Can you tell her anything? She says she hopes he's at peace now.
Okay. Can you ask Marcy Bolton his full name and his birth date?
Okay, you just did.
All right. So Marcy, I did, right? All right. And Marcy Bolton, just if you could give us that information when you have a minute, we're going to put your question over here. I'm going to ask him to come in. The God's Honest Truth. The very first thing that comes in with him, I'd like his full name and his birthday, and I will give you some insight into him via those avenues intuitively, as well as universe is going to talk to me, or God or love is going to talk to me. Angels are going to tell me information that you need to know, or that helps you to understand for your best healing, for your best understanding, because there's lots of different things that you didn't know about your brother, and that's what happens a lot of times. We, you know, just like my brother, he lives with his girlfriend of many, many years, and he doesn't really open up to us, and we don't really talk to him. And it doesn't mean that we don't love him. This is just his destiny and the way he's rolling, but there's so many things that we don't know, you know, so this will help you understand these things, because a lot of times, especially a male person in humanity or a guy, they're not very, let's say, extroverted. There's exceptions to every rule. Some guys are more comfortable with sharing stuff, but as a general rule, women over men, as a general rule here in Earth World, tend to be more extroverted, in touch with their emotions, or emotional showing than men. So their true feelings aren't really going to come out. It doesn't mean they don't have feelings, but a lot of times they're not comfortable with them. You know, I got to be the man kind of thing has always been part of almost like an epidemic in our society. So that's part of makes men not or not be comfortable with sharing how they truly feel or wanting to talk about those things, but it's in their innate nature to be different from women. Okay, so that's the nature of human nature, and that's okay. But when it comes to knowing the people in our lives, like our brothers and men in particular, a lot of times we don't know them, and your brother comes in as being very private and very, very headstrong, like, not really wanting to share stuff. And again, it's particular to the individual, of course. There's some people who talk a lot, and some people talk on a surface level. There's some people who go deep, right? The people who are, let's say, Gemini, Libras, your air signs usually are going to be your most communicative signs, because those are the 3 signs in the zodiac or in astrology that are your most communicative, thinking, talking signs. And those are some of the most powerful intellectual signs, and they are all about communication, and they will go deep. Sometimes it's not always in the cards if there's a toxic placement. So when I say go deep, and these signs usually need a partner who can go that distance. Does that make sense? Like, they're not superficial. They go the long term. You can get in depth, serious, well thought out, Plutonian type of conversations. Mars and Virgo is one of those things that will add to this. Overall. But your brother, right, it's not that he wasn't a thinker and wasn't intelligent. It comes in that he's not very communicative in those ways. Please share with us if you want to validate any of this that's coming in. But it's important for everybody to know that when you have people in your life who have a hard time communicating, you can always find it over and over in their chart, because they will be void of aspects of your major communication things meaning placements in their astrology, in their chart. It's somewhere, and usually in multiple places. Okay, so you could find these things in your brother's chart. You can also explore your brother more, just like we were talking about going back in time, right? Going back in timelines, literally time traveling through astrology. Fascinating shit, right? So you can see what your parents are thinking. You can do the same stuff, Marcy, with your brother. We could go in depth, and you can learn so much about your brother. You may learn some things that you might not really like, or why things happen, like, evaluating his chart the day he passed away and what was going on in him, both emotionally and across the board in his life. Because these aspects will be over and over and over in the astrology, because the truth of God is always in the astrology and in everything. The signs are in everything. All right, but this is some good wisdom if you really want to look into it and learn more about your brother. But I really feel right now you just want to connect with him. I feel like you want to know that he's okay. He is telling me he is okay. He is telling me that he loves you. It's weird though, because he's very curt with it. I feel like he's almost bitter. I don't feel like he's bitter about his life, but I feel like you and him didn't necessarily have the greatest relationship, and he feels like there's resentment there, and it is no fault of anybody's. It's just areas in ourselves to look into, to have the best communication and the best healing in ourselves across the board, right, for future relationships. Let me just see if there's anything else that he comes in. He's telling me about what he likes to wear. There's like a light flannel shirt that he's showing me. It's kind of like it's almost like a 1970s cowboy shirt that's white and tan, almost like the one that you gave Mark that was a designer one. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a shirt that Jennifer gifted to Mark. Who also usually is on our show all the time. And
he's here tonight.
Is he here tonight? Hey, Mark, you know the shirt. If you got it, hold it up. Just kidding. If you can tell, I don't know if you can send a picture on there or let people know about the shirt, but that's the kind of shirt that he kind of has on, or that he's showing me as to his wardrobe. He's also showing me jeans and a belt and, like a traditional guy kind of wardrobe he is showing me, but he also is showing me some dress pants too. He has a sense of obviously knowing what to wear, when to wear, how to wear kind of thing, but he's very reserved. He's coming in as very reserved, and he has some resentment. I'm going to ask him, what's the deal? I'm picking up differences in agreements, differences in ways to do things. just differences across the board in your energies. And sometimes that'll happen in families. Like Rachel has a twin who's completely different from her. Nicole Opper has a twin who's completely different from her. And not that your brother is a twin necessarily, okay? What comes in is he's just very different. It's amazing how we have brothers and sisters, and each one of us is uniquely different, you see. So he does come in as being uniquely different from you, just like my brother Rob, same kind of thing. He is very different from us, but he's in alignment with higher knowing, but he's very quiet, and reserved, and he talks when he feels like it. So the reason he's coming in is because your brother was a lot like that. He's got to be in the mood to talk and share, or he's not going to share. And, and it can create some challenges, and it's okay. Sometimes we have differences in energy. But if there's anything in particular that you want to know, Marcy, please, by all means, ask. He's also telling me something about corn. Like eating corn and corn forest and corn stalks, okay? So this is something that he is telling me and sharing me with you to relate to. And did you guys either go to a farm, or did somebody have a farm, somebody grow up on a farm or near a farm, because farm and farming is coming in? Or did he do something with farming because that's coming in? He is showing me also a tractor. Now this can be related to many different things, but this is all coming in for you. Anything else for her with him? He's also telling me swimming with a pond. Did you guys go as kids to these places? Did you guys go as kids? I feel like you may have been closer when you were kids, when you were children. Yeah, because I feel like that those are all parts that are coming in that he's showing me. Going to a pond, like a little pond on somebody's property.
She's pretty much validating everything you're saying, and she said they grew up in the country.
Yeah.
And she did say that. She did give you his full name. Do you want his full name?
Yes, please. Yes.
Scott McComas, and it was September 15th, 1963.
Yeah. And that makes sense too. Virgo, he's a Virgo by nature, so he's really, really reserved in general. Virgos are very reserved. They don't make friends easily as a general rule. There's always exceptions in different placements in the astrology, but as a general rule, they're not quick to make friends. You have to show a Virgo, kind of like, not to say, literally, but like what you're worth. You know what I mean? Before they're going to open up and befriend you, kind of like when I first met you, you know what I mean? You're kind of like, hey, I want to know the truth, but I want to be sure that you're telling me the truth, that you're not like bullshitting me. You know what I mean? A lot like that. So they're very particular, Virgos, and they're the perfectionists of the zodiac as well. So this tells me massive about your brother, massive, and this also tells me, when he thinks he's right, and there will be other placements to back this up as well. Other placements in his astrology that will back this up as well. Yeah, it comes in that he's showing me all these things from your childhood, because those were the best times that he has with you. Because he's going like this with his hands. He's saying that as you became adults, you're going separate ways. You're going this way, he's going that way, and that's okay. It's not uncommon. Things could have been different, but always it takes two people. In other words, two people to interact, two people to make things happen. One of the hardest things that I have to learn is I can't be in a relationship with a lover or a person or a friend or anybody who doesn't want to be in a relationship with me. They don't want to be my friend. They don't make the effort. I can only put so much energy into this relationship if nobody shows up on the other end. Mm-hmm. So, in those cases, you have to give it to universe, give it to God, give it to love, and let it go. So what do you say? You ask love that if it's possible that you can have the best relationship from love with him, to clear your blocks from that and be happy no matter what happens. And thanks, love, for that for us. And that's what you do. So that either in this lifetime or whatever relationship that you do have, it'll always be the best, and you're not stressing about it, and that you're not upset about it, and you clear your blocks that create that to happen. And ask God, ask love to be free of that, and in place of this, put the best way to be. And thanks for the best healing with this as well for Marcy and her brother and all of us, and always with everything we have going on in our lives as well. And thank you, God or love, for that for us. Okay, and if there's anything else you want to know, hold on a minute. Was there something about an investment strategy or investments? Because there's something about investments and disagreements in investing coming in as well for him. I think he's starting to open up more about more heavier personal stuff, because when it comes to money, people don't like to talk about money. You know what I mean? For the most part, you go outside in the world and you'd be like, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, these are some hard ass times. Businesses are going out here. This is happening in the world. This is happening. People walk up to me and they're like, I'm fine. My finances is fine. My life is just the greatest. It's never been so great. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Because people are not comfortable with what's going on, and then they're not in touch. They're delusional, and they're not really willing to share, wanting to share. But you always know what the truth is by how it feels in your heart. What is she saying?
She said, oh my God, he stole $1 million from my father.
Oh! There you
said,
go. Investments. Is that crazy?
Yeah, she also said you were right, that he had tons of secrets.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times, especially in a toxic, I'm sure there was a lot more going on. And what's so funny about the $1 million is Virgo is a sign and is a placement in astrology, right? That is like your money sign. They're usually your best sign with money because they're very particular with money. They're one of your best signs with money. Universe tells me your best sign when it comes to, like, preserving, it's one of your best signs with money. Preserving and what else is there? Knowing what to do with money and how to invest, but on the darker side of that totally can make sense. But I feel like there's other darker placements that have to do with this as well. So how wild is that? $1 million. Holy shit. That's something that it behooves you to unwind into the future. Yeah, he's saying some investments. I'm just looking at him in the energy, and I'm going to see if he wants to share anything. And he's saying not really. I don't feel like he's ready to come to terms with this at all. And it doesn't mean that it's bad or he's bad. It really is what it is. Everything in God's time. And I feel that this needs to be discussed on a personal level. Not trying to get you to do an appointment with me or anything, but you can call him in, Marcy. You're super gifted. You can sit down and talk to him at any time, or any medium if you choose, but just ask God for the best way to do it, or the best medium, or the best person to resolve this, to get to the bottom of it. Because while I feel he wants to touch on it, he doesn't, because this is really personal stuff. And just like we talked about tonight, there are some things that need to be over here and not in the public forum. And it's none of nobody's business, really. You know what I'm saying? You have to know where those boundaries are with money and with everything. So, excuse me. That's what it behooves you to do. Ask the universe, ask God, ask love. I could take this further, but I'm being guided not to by him. He's not really willing to be, not social about it. He's not comfortable with it. I do feel like he does want to resolve it. No soul on the other side with the money stuff. He does definitely have resentment and shitty feelings about it, but that's his cross to bear. That's his stuff. What is yours is how you feel about it. And also getting to the bottom of the God's honest truth, because this, when it comes to money, right, it's an energy that there's so much shady crap, money, families, all that stuff. And we've all been through it. What'd she say? And I see Jen smiling over here.
I'm smiling because she said, thanks, Andy. And I thought, who the fuck is Andy? I was like, did she call him Andy? But no, Andrew Karate said, sorry for your loss, Marcy. Like, who's Andy?
Okay. Jennifer's out there in left field, but it's okay. All right. So, so that's what it behooves you to do, but you don't need him to heal this. Everyone says, I need closure, like in relationships. Like, I need to talk to them and I need them to say they're sorry. And a lot of times people won't say they're sorry because they're not ready to. And you can't, it does not behoove you. You can do whatever you want, but it doesn't behoove you to allow, all right, his unwell feelings and the fact that you can't sit down and talk with him about this to tear you up and destroy you. You have the power to heal you in reference to all of this. You can get to the bottom of this, all of this, by working with God, working with love, working with the angels, going into your chart. We could look through all of this stuff, and you could do this work all yourself as well. We all have these gifts. It doesn't have to be resolved with somebody else. Just like I had a gentleman come in this week and he had this relationship and the girl doesn't want to talk to him, and she wants to talk to him 5 minutes later, she doesn't, and he wants closure, and he's kind of saying, well, she won't give me this closure where she sits down and talks to me about anything, and he wants that and he needs that. And I said, sometimes you can't get that from people because they're not well, right? And this is a case of that. But I do feel that there is a possibility 23 to 67 to 87, 78 to 83%. Why so much? Because it fluctuates up and down. It's about when you're in your heart and he's in your heart at the same time simultaneously. But you can create that by asking love and asking God for this. So I do feel like it could be resolved for the best healing for both of you. Both of you must want to do that if you want to, but we can't, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make him drink. So we can't force him to do anything, but what you can do is you work on you to heal this in you, and then this will not be disturbing for you anymore. This too shall pass. You know what I mean? All right. So hope that answers all your questions, girl. And any more, let me know. Okay. So who's next? It's Ray's turn.
Yeah, we got Kathy.
Okay.
She's asking about her heart. As you know, I believe that she's been having different heart issues going on. She's scheduled.
It's Kathy Warmack, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. She's scheduled to have a heart surgery, but first they have to do a heart test on her to determine what kind of surgery she can have. So she can either have the open heart surgery or surgery on her heart where they go up the groin, and she's wondering which surgery you feel like she's going to end up having based off the test.
Which you're going to end up having instantly, right? First of all, I have to say that I am not a doctor, as you know, so you have to make your own choices. What I do is I talk to God, universe, love for the best gifts for you. So instantly what comes in is when I hear groin, I get a head shake. So I do not feel it's going to be going through the groin. Okay. However, so just note and log this. Okay. But talk to your doctors, I have lots of information that I could give you in reference to this to help and assist you. But because this is a public forum, right, we would have to talk personally if you want to go down the route of alternative medicine. All right. Based on what I would do, if God's telling me, universe love is telling me no in the groin, I feel that's on for multiple reasons. That's not the way to go. It's not going to be the best behooving for your greatest wellness. But you ultimately make those choices. I'm not giving you any medical advice. If you would like to talk to me over here on personal messenger like tomorrow or in the days to come, you can. But my job is to tell you the God's honest truth. So I do feel they're going to do the other way. But overall, I'm getting it is best that they do the other way. However, that's if you're going to opt for this. However, I've talked before about these things. Your body is self-healing. If you don't have to do surgeries, you don't, right? You use alternative medicine doctors, practitioners, people who will guide you and help you in this forum, right? Just like when we do, our medical intuitive show, this is a variation of the same thing. I have tons of information, but the best thing to do is if you want this information to help you, and I've already suggested things like, CoQ, doing energy work, all these things are the things that are going to heal you. CoQ10, looking into that for your best health. I would look into vitamin E as well, but these are things you have to know your shit on, right? Anytime you use stuff, you really got to do your research and make sure. And we've talked about this, but if you're going to go the doctor way, ask God for the best doctor for you, the best situation with the surgery, and that's okay because you pick what is best for you. I'm not saying any of this is wrong. What I'm saying is you must follow your heart for your best healing journey with your heart. All right. But into the future, I would definitely look into for you doing metaphysical work such as healing your heart, truly doing energy work, working with astrology, working with God to release these things. It's already happening naturally, but to release the everything that's metaphysical that is related to this and is causing this. Okay. Because this just doesn't go away. Even if they, let's say, quote unquote, do the surgery and fix it at some point in time, you're going to run into more avenues because really the problem is not addressed both physically and metaphysically in your soul. This will definitely, in the space of God that you're in, you're putting all your eggs in this basket and you're believing in this, and this is the space of God you're in, and that's okay. That, if this is the path that you feel you should take, by all means you do. But into the future, you may want to look through and down these other avenues. Okay, girl? And I love you, and we'll say a prayer for you that it goes fantastic in the best way it can go from love. And if you want to talk to me more about these things, but I feel we've talked about this, and this is what you're really most comfortable with, and that's okay. So we ask God for the best doctor, the best outcome, the best doctors, the best anesthesiologist, the best of everything we need for all of this from love in the purest form, the best outcome, the best surgery, the best of everything from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is, and as well as the best day. Remember, you don't want to do surgeries on full moons? Remember that. Check the moon calendar. The moon calendar for your surgery as well, because when you do surgery on a full moon, you are more filled with fluids, I believe, and therefore you have more of an opportunity. The energy is such that you can bleed out, okay, or have some blood loss. Doesn't mean that that's definitely going to happen, but you want to work with the energy of all that is God and love in the stars, if you're consciously aware of it and know it, in your best way. So you can use all different kinds of what's going on with the stars, okay, to help you, like the moon cycles. And this is great wisdom, and we've talked about medical astrology books to look into, and this is for everybody. The more tools we have, natural medicine, and in all ways for our best health, the better. And it depends on the vibration of God or love that you're in for your greatest health. So definitely, I would look into these things so you can schedule it on the best day. If you need my help, then PM me, and I'll definitely give you some dates and times. But you can also go with your traditional astrologist that's in your area, have them look at your chart if you feel like you want to do this, as to what everything to do with what's the best day for the surgery for you, because that definitely plays a role for sure, without a doubt, with your best health. All right. Yeah. And I believe it's the 8th house in Pluto that governs surgery, is it not? Mars, Pluto, I think. Do you know, Sophia? Yeah, I believe it is. I know they have a very prominent role in that. Okay. But definitely look into that. Look into your chart if you can, if you feel it. And if not, you work with God. This is the most important thing. You don't got to do everything I do. You work with love. You ask and you shall receive. You create what you want. You clear your blocks from it. You ask that it goes the best it can be from love, and it's your healthiest you comes out of it from love. And thanks God for this for Kathy, from love. And anything that blocks that from happening, and no matter how everything goes, that you're happy no matter what, from love. And thanks God for that for us and for Kathy. Do you see? So you have all the power all the time. But you can definitely talk to me more in depth about these things, but because of the crazy stuff going on in the world, and we have some placements in the astrology right now that are Mars and Plutonian that are absolutely vile right now. I don't know if anyone's noticed how wicked shit is. Oh, and the energy. So because of that, like Jennifer was going to put the crock pot on overnight, and I'm like, yeah, no. I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. And I made her unplug it and shit, right? Because I'm like, yeah, if I'm not feeling it, I listen, because there's more of a propensity with these energies, let's say, to start a fire, to have your house burned down, for accidents, for crazy, vile, wild shit to happen because of a lot of the Mars and Pluto's placements right now. So just be aware of this, especially in my personal chart and what's going on with me. I have, I believe it's, Mars, either Mars conjunct the sun or Mars opposition the sun, and the same thing with my Pluto. So that's a double whammy of variations of similar energies. Super powerful stuff. So you want to be aware of these things in these times if you can. But the best thing to do is always listen to your heart, talk to God, talk to love, talk to the angels. So you always know. You always know, and you have always the best plan, and you work with that energy. So you don't have to know about astrology. You don't have to know about the moon phases, Kathy. You don't have to freak out about any of these things or alternative medicine. All you need to do is work with love and make your best choices for you from that space. All the other stuff is how universe is guiding me to tell you, for you to look into, to help you along with your best health. Okay. But overall, this is the truth, the God's honest truth for everybody. As you go down these avenues, you pick and choose what is best for you. Okay. Okay. So that said, everybody, we just said great prayers for Kathy, and you all can say, more prayers for Kathy as well. Thanks God for the best outcome for Kathy from love. Best health, best wellness, best of everything. And thank you, God, for that for her and all of us from love. In the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God. Thank you, love, for that for us. Okay. Who's next? Jen.
Teresa Courtney Lloyd.
Uh-huh.
She says, I have had a sadness within me for a bit, and ironically, I've also had some very watery eye issues, like tears running down my face. Mm-hmm. Any insight as to what is going on?
Okay, in these times, Teresa, a lot is going on. All right, God, what's the God's honest truth here for Teresa about the watery eye issues and the sadness? They do go hand in hand. They're interrelated. It's kind of like a subconscious release. So you're releasing stuff, but you're releasing stuff energetically. Whether people do this work that we share with you guys here, any kind of energy work, whether you do it or not, when you signed in to come here or come into this earth world, Teresa, all of us sign in, meaning when we come into this reality, we automatically agree to everything in this reality. All right, so to speak, right? Everything that goes on in our lives and it affects us, we have agreed to. So nothing is really not something that we don't know about. But let me just see here. So when you come in, hold on. Let me just see how they're relating this to all of this. On a subconscious level, your soul in your heart space will do these things, will release all these things. And everything in the stars, meaning in astrology, in the planets, in the stars, just like outside, if you go out there, there's these two big stars outside in the night sky. You guys can all see them. I think they're I believe that they're Venus and Jupiter, if I'm not mistaken. Are they, Sophia? Do you know?
I think so.
Yeah, and they were by the moon not too long ago with the moon going around. It was really, really cool. A lot of people took pictures of it. Okay, so those are the planets, right? Those are some of the planets that we're talking about here. The stars, the moon, everything that is astrology, everything that is universe, okay? Those are the catalysts, the planets, astrology, the catalysts that create the energy that is going on all the time, that causes or is the catalyst for the things that you do, the propensities for the energies of the things that happen in your life, the challenges that you meet. But they were all called in the grand design when you chose on whatever day, time, moment, and space that you came in here to choose to come in here. So with free will, you chose that. You chose everything, whether you realize it or not, and not in the literal way that you think, but you agreed to this because that's the nature of God, that's free will. So with this, you're automatically releasing stuff. We all are, because the vibration of the planet is being risen or is constantly raising and changing with everything that's going on, a yin and yang. And this is all for the new world. You came here to change the world. So we all agreed to this. Does this make sense to everybody? So there's energies that are changing us as we speak, and this is happening to you, okay? And if you grab the bull by the horns and you work consciously with God, as Walter Russell teaches and says, right? Walter Russell, we've talked about him in the past. He works consciously with God, and this is why he can do the things that he does, and that's what he advertises, or not advertises, but teaches. You know what I mean? That's what he represents, would be better words for that. But he has books on this. Okay, so Teresa, if you grab the bull by the horns, just like we teach, and you work consciously, knowingly, with love, then you can create this to go faster or understand this better and release all of this. But it also comes in that there's a health issue for you to look into, and it's with regulating your water. Your water, it's a metabolic thing, right? So like we talk about the cell salts, these could help you with that. The homeopathic cell salts, we've talked about those. I think you guys know about these. Nat Mur. All right. Look into Nat Mur, look into these things, because a lot of times your eyes will release to help you water, cause from dry eyes and things like that, dry skin, dry eyes, irritation, rubbing of your eyes. So it does come in that there's a metabolic imbalance. And this can go on for a while. A lot of times there's stuff on the market that you can use, natural and other, for lubricating your eyes and all. But this does come in for you to look into health-wise. Okay. And you can be at different levels of different phases of the deficits. But when you have these things come in like this, it's your body telling you that it's out of balance. So energetically, there's some work to do, both metaphysically and with vitamins, minerals, herbs, oils, cell salts, homeopathic, alternative medicine, if you so choose to go down this path. There is work for you to do if you want to address this in that way. So this definitely comes in for you. I'm just looking here. Is there anything else with this? No, the angels are saying that pretty much wraps it up unless you have any other questions for us in reference. And it doesn't mean that any of this is bad. When we find that we have these little symptoms and we think that they're just like stuff that we have and that's just indicative of our family line and who we are, nothing is further from the truth. All right. You have these symptoms because your body is telling you that there is an issue here. You're not getting your body isn't able to regulate your water, right? So there's a less than space of water. You'll get dry eyes, you'll get dry skin, and a host of other things related to this as time goes on and we don't address stuff like this. So it behooves us to look into this because, whether it's ringing in your ear or pain in your jaw or pain in your bones or numbness in your fingers, and this is why doctors can't diagnose shit because they go on and on and on about all this different autoimmune stuff and all the different things that it could be. But all it really truly is your body telling you the truth about the deficits it's having, and it's showing you in the symptoms things that need to be addressed. And the key is that it's a mystery. So you got to get to the bottom of the mystery. How do you do that? You work with God, you work with love. So this is just some of those deficits that, let's say you correct them and rebalance them, then you don't run into more difficult problems later, like bigger health problems, more serious autoimmune diseases or disorders, right? I hate to use the word disease because everyone's like, oh my God, I got a disease, or a poisoning, right? Because the truth is that, a poisoning is what it is, and you got to remove that stuff, and then you got to work on healing you and whatever the effects of or the symptoms were, to heal that in you, right? And the same thing is true with diseases, right? I hate to use the word disease because then it becomes people and they become the disease. Like I know so many people who become cancer, you know what I mean? Who become the sickness that they are. And once that happens, more often than not, they've resigned themselves to being miserable and being this. And it doesn't have to be that way. We have all the power. If you look at it in a different way, as it is a dis-ease. You are not at ease, like let's say with your eyes. Your eyes are dry, you're rubbing them, or they're tearing massively, okay? Right? All of these things are interrelated, to the disease or the disease process. And if you think of it as I am not at ease, the symptoms that my body is showing me are my body speaking to me. This has been massive learning for me. Let me tell you, for my own personal self, we think we know things and then we get blown away by universe and God and working with this energy. And we just there's so many incredible amounts of untapped wisdom, right? But something simple as this, dis-ease, disorder. We're not in order. In other words, we're out of alignment. Energetically, yin and yang, we are not balanced, right? And Libra, a great sign for balance and adaptability for healing, right? So look at your Libra placements. I'm sure, Teresa, you're a healer by nature. We've talked about this before many, many times. And I'm sure you'll look into this and that you got this. But as an overall rule, look into all these things, see what you feel, and talk to love. Talk to love and create what you want to happen. And the best avenue is the best of everything you need, girl. You got this. Thanks. All right. So was that Jen's question? Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to take some questions from out here. You guys got any? And it's okay if you don't. It's okay if you don't.
I can ask anything?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to go to our live audience here and just ask some questions. And if you want, yeah. Okay. Maria, right? Do you want to ask or you want to wait?
I can ask.
Okay, go ahead. And if you can speak up, please do.
Okay, but I don't have her date of birth or anything.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Okay, so if I just give you a name.
Yeah. I'm going to write it down real quick because I like it when I can see it. Go ahead.
Okay.
So.
It's just a simple question. Like, I haven't felt anything ever since she died. It's like 3 years now, but sometimes.
All right, who are we talking about?
My grandma, her name is Despina.
Despina? How do I spell that?
Despona, or Poina.
Okay, and what's her last name? You know it?
I mean, probably.
If you don't know it, that's okay. What?
Michailidou.
That's a big last name. Do you know what her whole name means by any chance?
No, that's Greek.
It's Greek. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know
All right.
what you mean.
All right.
It's Greek to me.
Yeah. Well, and if I'm asking you this, it behooves you to look up because there's going to be a load of wisdom in her name. Okay.
Okay.
So take a look at what that means. Find out through your family, through the internet even, right? Look at different sites. Don't just take one thing, but you'll feel it and you'll know. I feel like there's like huge understanding and meaning and understanding of her in her name. There always is. Your first name is the first part of your life, the middle name is the middle of your life, and the last name is the last part of your life. But this is just one formula that universe guides me to. But also, okay, in your name will be the story of who you are, okay? Everything about you, your deficits, your journey, your life path, all these different things are in her name, okay? Like, to give you an example, I know I've talked about this many times with you guys before. People come to me all the time. They ask me questions like, do I have the best attorney for my divorce?
Yeah.
Is this a good man for me to date? Right. And then they tell me their names. Like the attorney, the woman said to me, I said, what is his name? What is his name? Tell me his name. She goes, oh, it's Arthur Broom. And I said, don't worry about it. I said, he's got this. He's going to clean up. He's Broom. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so there is wisdom in everything. So it behooves us to learn the whole name and the birth date and everything as much as possible, because this is information to read into to help and assist us. Everything is messages from universe and love. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is her birthday?
Her birthday?
You don't know her birthday?
No, I don't remember. It's been a while, and I'm a terrible granddaughter.
But you said it was spelled Despoina.
Yeah.
Well, this is neat because I looked it up really quick. It says in Greek mythology, Despina was the daughter of Demeter and Poseidon.
How cool is that?
That's just a quick little
Yeah.
word at the beginning, but
It's also my middle name too. I don't know.
it was just neat.
but you see, there's insight there for you and her. Did you guys hear that? Can you say that, Jen, again loud? Jennifer looked up her name, her grandma's name.
And I'm just reading like the first blurb that came up. So in Greek mythology, Despina was the daughter of Demeter and Poseidon.
Is there any more about the story?
Probably.
And then Maria says her middle name is also this. Okay, so that's powerful shit. That's powerful. Now look up these gods, right? Or Demeter and who is it?
Poseidon.
Poseidon is the god of the sea, girl. Fuck. That's some incredible power, right? Woo.
Yeah, I do love the water.
What?
I do love water.
Yeah, and wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't that make sense? And just like if we look into your astrology, you're gonna have some powerful water placements as well. Like we talked about your moon sign, and we talked about your rising sign, and we talked about your sun sign, right? In astrology, those are your big three. Okay, so your grandmother is a super powerhouse of a woman. There is no doubt. She's very old world. Did she live in Greece most of her life?
She lived in Greece and California, but she moved back to Greece. So yeah, she passed away.
Yeah, because that's what's coming in. She's living in Greece most of her life. So she went there, then to California, then back to Greece.
Yeah, and then New York also.
Well, did she pass away in Greece or California or New York? Which she passed away?
I think she passed away in Greece.
Okay. Yeah, because she's very adamant about it being her home.
Yeah.
Right, but there's a lot of confusion about it. So that's why I'm asking the questions, because when I read your energy, you're not really sure. Does that make sense? Like with New York and California, like she's all over the place.
It was Greece.
Right, so but like you're not really sure about and where she was and a lot about her. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I don't know.
So that energy is going to lend itself to the confusion. Okay? So that, and that's why she keeps saying that Greece is her home, Greece is her home, Greece is her home. But her lineage and your ancestry goes back to ancient Greek gods and like, who are the people that, the originators of astrology and, what am I talking about? Like Plato and philosophers, yeah.
Romans. Yeah.
What?
The Romans?
Yeah, the Romans and the Greeks and that whole thing. So there is huge family ancestry in here that goes with her name and with you, and it behooves you to look into this, to learn about you. Because as you do this, you will learn about not only your gifts and who you are, but you will open up these doorways to, remember how we talked about the other day in the shop, the incredible magic that you all have? This is part of your destiny. And you said, well, I want to know more about me. Well, here it is. Here it is. Cool shit, right? Yeah. So, but Poseidon, did you ever see a fun movie to watch? And this is for everybody here. Everybody, a fun movie to watch is, what was the name of it? You guys know the movie I love. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. His father is Poseidon. So take a look at that and the magic that he has, because really you can do anything with magic. It's a question of wrapping your head around it with love, energy, magic. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. But this will help you to understand more about this. Again, it's a fictional story, but it's fantastic, right? It's a fantastic story. This energy comes from somewhere that's in the fictional story. Do you see? And this will also help you hook into your energy of your gifts that are like all of this. Do you see? Like one of my favorite movies that my family makes fun of me all the time is The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nicolas Cage. Did you see that one? That's another good one with, Merlin, I think it is, and magic. And, same thing with Harry Potter. All of these movies are designed to tell you that you're magic, to help you understand and take a look at your magic and your gifts. Fascinating stuff. So this comes in with your grandmother. She's an old world soul. She's a super powerful soul. She loves you very much. She's saying to me, the reason there's a discord, and it's not even a discord between you and her, there's just a difference in the gap in the timelines and the energy, and everything was meant to be the way it was supposed to be. And she loves you very much, and there's no hard feelings or toxic feelings in reference to this. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I just didn't know because she always had a weird relationship with my dad.
Yeah, but how she feels about your dad is not how she feels about you. She's a very powerful woman, and she doesn't let other people's shit interfere. She's kind of like me. She doesn't let other people's shit interfere with how she feels about certain people. Do you see what I'm saying? Or about anyone. All right, she has her own perspective in her, right, wrong, or whatever. She has her own idea based in love, right? Based in higher knowing, because I do feel she's really, really gifted and really, really high-end Christ spiritual energy, or like God energy. Very, very full of wisdom and higher knowing. So I do feel that her discrepancy with your dad was right on. Do you know what I'm talking about? No. Okay, well, her disagreements with your dad are based in truth on her part. You understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't mean that it's bad or good. Your grandma picks out the truth in everything, right? That's who you are, though. That's who you are. You don't take any shit, right? Yeah. Yeah. So this is about learning all about you. So she has no bad feelings. What's coming in is just a difference in the timelines, in time. I'm here, you're there. You're there, you're here. There's differences with your dad and her, and none of this has to do with you. Doesn't have any bad feelings, and she just feels like everything's in alignment with the way it needed to be. Okay? And that's good for you to know. It's important. Okay, she doesn't have any bad feelings for you. She loves you. She's known you for lifetimes, and she loves you very much. And let me see what else, let me just see if there's anything else. Do you have any other questions for her?
Doesn't have anything else you want to tell me, like a message on what I'm actually doing, like in this, whatever, my move and everything that I have going on in my life? Any advice?
And what?
Any advice?
Well, she comes in as seeing that you're readjusting. You're going on a new path. The advice that she tells me, and she's holding up her finger and she's going one thing at a time, so you don't become overwhelmed. So one thing at a time. Address each thing one thing at a time. And that's the best advice that she's telling me for you right now.
How about my relationship with my dad? What's your advice on that?
All right. What's your dad's name?
George.
Are you talking to him right now?
Yeah.
You are. Has it been shady where you haven't talked to him on and off?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what's coming in. Well, what she's saying is, will you cut that shit out? Will you cut that shit out? In other words, are you seeing the whole picture? You know what I mean?
That he's shady, yeah.
What?
That he is shady, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, she wants you to see the whole picture, and what is the best words? Thanks God for the best words and understanding for Maria with her dad. What is his name again? George.
Yeah.
Really, you can have a relationship with George without getting all wrapped up in George's crap. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
George's crap is over here. Maria's crap is over here. It doesn't mean we have to get all wrapped up in the drama. There's a place that you can meet in the middle from love. The question is, do you want to go there?
No.
All right. So you're not ready, and that's okay. But this is where she's guiding me to tell you. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. It doesn't mean that you accept the toxic stuff that, let's say, he's doing. It doesn't mean that you accept that any more than, let's say, Marcy Bolton from earlier accepts that her brother, stole money or whatever, which, you got to get to the bottom of that and see the God's honest truth, because that's the first thing you should ask for with everything, the God's honest truth for all of us. All right. Because then you will know. And the answers will come. It will be in your reality. Universe will tell you. You'll have dreams about it. You'll get visions, and you will know how it feels in your heart. What the truth is about your dad, what's really going on, the truth about you, what you're not seeing. So you ask universe for all these things, or God, or love, and you ask for those things, then the answers will come. And this is how you will see the truth, heal these things as well in you, all right? Any discrepancies that you have in you that are not based in truth or in the illusions like Neptune and Pisces, crazy shit, illusional, where you're not seeing the God's honest truth, you can see that, then you can heal it, you can release it, and then you can move past those things that aren't the truth. And then you can create a different way of seeing him. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. So this is all the information from the angels, from your grandmother that comes in. Your grandmother's super wise. In fact, she's one of your guides. Are you aware of that? She's standing behind you. At the end of her life, was she more heavy or set in her life? Was she did she have any weight on her? And because she's showing me more heavier, but she's showing me a short woman, but with a long dress. Did she wear dresses too?
She wore dresses.
Yeah.
The short haircut. What was that, back in the 70s?
Okay.
It's it had curls and all that. She always liked to get her hair. I forgot what it is.
Her hair done or something?
Well, it wasn't
curled?
hair done, yeah, but she would have not the traditional curls. It's just it would flip.
Okay.
Yeah,
It would go under.
Yeah.
Under, yeah. She's telling me she is particular about her hair, but she had almost like a paisley colored, it was bright colors, but it's not fluorescent, it's different. But it was a bright colored, long dress. And she's showing me a more heavy set woman. Do you know of her as this in any time and space through when you knew her in your life?
I remember her, but I guess because my last memories of her were basically when she was sick.
When she was sick?
Yeah.
Yeah. She lost a lot of weight then?
She did.
Yeah, because that's what's coming in. That's what's coming in when she was sick. Yeah, because she's showing me a more heavier set woman, and she's doing this to show you. But you can also look through old pictures to identify with what I'm telling you. You'll probably even see the paisley dress in the photographs. You know what I'm saying? And also you could see her, she may come to you in a dream. An aunt or somebody else may send you a photograph, or somebody else it could go in a million different ways. But all of these things are designed to help you connect to her and understand that this is real, as well as for your best healing. Do you see? And it lets you know too that she's really communicating with you. Do you see? She's right behind you, and you can call her in. She is one of your guides. My dad passed away years ago. What year? I don't know, Jen. Do you know?
03.
03. My dad passed away in 03. And he's been my guide ever since. But if I was in this space back in 2003, my dad would have been I'm thinking I'm nuts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But your grandmother, it's a variation of that same thing. She now understands things differently and is able to help and assist you. Some really neat stuff, energetically to share with you. And I feel you're going to have a relationship with her in time into the future. And you can call her in and you can talk to her anytime. And as you open your beliefs and your illusions about that this stuff is real, or that, you can really talk to her and see her and she's around you all the time, you'll be hearing her. In dreams, she'll be coming to you in dreams. You'll be hearing her talk to you. You'll know. It's neat stuff. So these things are coming for you, and she's going to help you with whatever you decide for your destiny. And you're right where you need to be with everything in your life, and you're doing a fantastic job. You know,
So
these are not easy times.
She doesn't have any oppositions of who I'm talking to?
Any oppositions?
Yeah.
Not really. She feels like you have your head on straight enough.
Okay.
She goes, you're my granddaughter. Do you understand that? You're my granddaughter. So she feels you have enough sense in the family lineage. You have enough sense about you. And these are the words she's using. You have enough sense.
Yeah, she would use that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's very direct. If you know, I remember I worked for some Greek gentleman in New Jersey who had a restaurant. Whoa, you want to talk about people who talk the truth and they lay it on the table? Whoa! Especially Greek men, they're like boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? They don't beat around the bush. And your grandmother has a lot of this energy in there, but so do you, right? But that's all part of who you are. What'd you say?
No, I see the connection.
Yeah. Okay, so you good?
Yes.
All right. How about you? And what is trying to think what it I want to get the right name. What is the nickname? Vic. That's the name you go by. I don't know. I don't want to call it a nickname. But why do you go by Vic? I'm just curious.
It's just easier for a lot of people to say.
Okay.
Compared to Tanaka.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we have somebody else in our live audience, Vic. And do you have any questions, Vic?
I think right now, no.
Okay.
I'm just here to listen.
Okay, great. No problem. And if you change your mind, and you can always, come in the future too. How about you, Sophia, back here?
I don't think so. I tried to think of one, but I think I just got caught up listening to everybody's stories.
Neat stories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sophia says she doesn't have any questions for our live audience tonight. And she's saying she just gets caught up in everybody's stories because they are so fascinating. But it's more proof of how unique we all really are, all of us. How special, how unique, and no two of us are alike. That's what we came here to experience. Super cool. Super cool, So then I'm not like attached to Jen for eternity. I can come into different lifetimes, and she doesn't have to be my sister.
Good luck, Lynn.
Shut up, Rachel. All right, so you got a question? Yeah, sure. Okay.
I make myself the worst great grandson ever, but I did have a great grandmother that passed away back in 2015.
Okay.
She lived till she was like 112 years old.
Wow.
A great grandmother. Wow. Okay, so Vic is talking about a great grandmother who was 112 years old when she passed away, right?
Yes, but
Okay.
her birthday, I don't know, because she was born before they were recording that. And
Cool. Where was she born? Do you know?
Zimuto in Zimbabwe.
Okay. Is that in the main country?
So right above South Africa.
Okay, so it's not an island.
No.
Okay, because you have massive, and we talked about this massive island energy. Your family has a huge island magic in you. Really neat. Just FYI. So this is something that you, just like we talked about her with the Greek god stuff, we talked about maybe you might want to look into it, for you. So your grandmother's 112 years old, and she passed away when?
2015.
2015. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Did you inherit any money from this? No, nothing. Nothing there. That's interesting because the first thing that came in that universe guided me to do was 2015, 2, 0, 1, 5, 5 and 1 is 6, 7 and 8, and 8 is abundance. Any other gifts or anything that you can remember of that time that were bestowed upon you?
No, that's the year that I graduated
Okay.
from college.
Okay.
No, because okay, so Zimbabwe is kind of third world, basically.
Yeah.
So we used to go back there a lot to give stuff.
Okay.
But I was trying to see, is she still around, energy-wise, or
Oh, she's still around you?
Does she have any
What
advice
is-
for me?
Any what?
Advice?
Messages, advice, guidance, not unlike what she kind of just did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is her name?
That's why I'm the worst great-grandson. I forgot.
He can't remember her
So,
name.
My thing is, I left Zimbabwe when I was 7 years old, and then I met her once when I was there in 2010 for a month. And then after that, I never really kept up communications.
All right.
I was caught up in my own world.
The grandmother stayed at your parents' house?
A great grandmother.
You should ask for her.
What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, let me
Honestly,
see.
like, hopefully she doesn't resent me for not remembering and not doing enough, maybe.
All right, what's the God's honest truth here? Can you please bring in this grandmother that Vic is talking about now, please, to have all these questions answered from love. There still is something about abundance going on here, interesting enough. So put this on the shelf over here because there's something that has to do with that 2015 passing over. 112, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the number of completion. Okay. Here it is. Here's the gifts. The gifts is you have this in your family lineage. You have the gift of a great long life and great, incredible health. Are you aware of that?
No.
Yeah. So this is, and that's huge. A massive, abundant gift, right? If you don't have your health, man, you're fucked. Excuse my French, you know what I mean? That's anybody. And I've talked about my story before. We're going through it with our health. In fact, in my astrology, it literally says that in my solar return chart for this year, that in this year, this Pluto placement that I have is where my mortality meets my career. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Like my death, like my sickness, my inability to do something. In other words, my realization that I'm human and that my health is very important and I have to have my health or I can't go forward. Do you see what I'm saying? So this in itself is why this is coming in to share with you, because this is an incredible gift of abundance, right? Incredible gift. You people don't realize, and this is what the whole planet is being guided to and learning through this process with the inoculations, with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, how valuable our health truly is. To value our health, because without our health, we have nothing. Because you can't really live, you can't really move, you can't really dream, you can't live, you can't just do anything and everything that you wanted to do like you could do before. You know what I mean? If you don't have your health. So this is coming in really strong and powerful, but I do feel there's more to this. There is more to this. I feel like there is some kind of financial gain through your grandmother and through your family, even though you say Zimbabwe is not a very affluent country from what you're saying, right? The people there. There's magic and gifts in everything. Remember that. And if this is the truth and you are supposed to have this, whatever gifts and magic or abundance this is, that thank you, God, for this for Vic now, please, from love, right? Yeah, because this way we open the door for that and we clear those blocks that stop that from happening. And we ask love that may you have these gifts that they're showing us and sharing, right? And that you're happy no matter what happens. When you do that, then you release this. And then you have everything. Do you see what I'm saying? Then you can see everything. Everything will come to you. Maybe not in the way that you think or when you think, but everything in God's time. Not my time. Like I could kick, everybody knows me here, right? So like I could kick the wall when I get pissed off about my fucking health and I'm like, rah, 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 and I can't walk and I'm in miserable pain and I'm crying in tears and I'm fucking sick of this and all this crap, right? And I can kick the wall, but the bottom line is, right, overall, I got to do the work that it takes to change it. And I have to deal with this. Do you see what I'm saying? So, whether I like it or not, this is all part of my destiny and my greatest growth and my greatest learning and my greatest healing. But you are going to take these gifts and you are going to have an incredible wisdom and incredible dreams. And you're tapping in and you're going to use these gifts of health and for whatever's coming to you with this. And I'm going to ask them to bring me back to the kicking thing because I feel like there's more, right? Because you can't fight it, right? Everything in God's time. I can't get well. Right? I can kick the wall all I want. I can have a shit fit. I can cry. I can throw myself on the ground. I can be the victim. But until I release all this energy in me and heal me and work on me, nothing can happen in the way that I can't, if I can't believe it. to happen, or I can't see it to happen, right? And it's God's time. Everything when it is best for me and all. So even though you may not see these things over here, they are here. Do you see? Yeah. Yeah. So also, your grandmother is a guide for you. Was she lanky? Did you ever see her? Was she tall and lanky? Because she's coming in as being really lean, almost like bony. Yeah. And very lean. Yeah. And, she's around you a lot. And what's wild is you have this green shirt, this aquamarine green shirt. And this is the dress she is in that she's showing me. Have you ever seen her in a dress that color? It's a beautiful color for her and her skin, as it is for you.
She was. Yeah.
What?
She was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what she's showing me. She's around you. And it's no accident that you're asking me this, because she is also a guide for you, like my dad is a guide. Right, my dad is a guide for me, and her grandmother is a guide for her. Neat shit, right? And she has there is no unwell feelings. This is another very wise woman, very wise. With age comes wisdom. You don't get to live to be 112 and be a stupid fuck. Excuse my French. You just don't. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't. You don't. You know. I hope I'm not offending you with my language. Most of you guys know my shit, right? My language. Okay. And do you have any questions for her? She's around you all the time. Did she dance? Did she do dance and drumming or anything like that?
She did dance and drumming.
Yeah, yeah, because she's showing me that. She's showing me going around and like I don't know if this is the right word, but like almost like a tribal thing. But this is an ethnic thing. This is a spiritual thing. This is a very honorable thing, and to participate in this, and this is a very powerful thing. Does this make sense to you?
It does.
Yeah.
I remember, her body started to fail first, but then I remember, like, unlike me, she had a great memory.
Yeah. Oh, change that. Clear that out. Because that's not true. That's your belief that you don't have a good memory. That's not the truth. So let's clear those blocks in you and change that now, please, from love, if you so desire that. Thanks God for that for all of us. Right? Yeah. And she loves you very much. And she's super proud of you. And she's, just like her grandmother, when she says you have sense, she's showing me, she's going like this with her feet. And she says, you have your feet on solid ground. In other words, you know who you are. You wear that? You like in somewhere in the core of your soul, you know who you are. Like, and you're solid, you're secure, you're grounded. Do you understand that? Yes. And she's proud of you. She's proud of you for that. Just like her grandma says, oh, she got some sense in her. She's proud of her as well for that. Yeah, cool shit. Do you have any questions in reference to this that you want to know?
No, I think I'm good now.
You good?
Yeah.
All right, no problem. Sophia, last call for Sophia. All right. So what time are we at, Ray?
8:31.
Okay, 8:31. We got about 14 more minutes. So I'm going to ask any more questions out here.
Yeah, we have a couple more.
We have a couple more? Mm-hmm. All right. Before we get in, how many more? 2 questions? 3. All right, we got about 3 questions. Probably 15 minutes will probably be enough to finish that up. However, I do want to talk probably more into the future about talking about these astrology timelines and jumping timelines and learning about your family into the future. I think we'll probably do a segment on that next week because that's what I'm feeling. I want to really get into it, and I feel like 15 minutes, and I want to talk to Universe, God, Love, so I have the best words, the best understanding, so there's no more challenges, but the least amount of challenges in comprehending this for myself and for everybody. Because when you start talking about timelines and astrology and when that timeline should be, people generally start to think logic in Earthworld and how it works in Earthworld, and it's not that way. And then we run into other challenges. So I want to make sure I have all my stuff in the right spaces. So tonight, I'm just going to tell you guys, that's what we're going to focus on next week as one of our segments, our main segment in here, along with our, answering questions and anything else that comes up in current affairs, if so need be, guided by higher knowing, God, love, universe. Okay, but we will be talking about these timelines, how to jump timelines, how to go back in time for your healing, how to understand what your parents were going through, how to understand that you're going through those things, what the whole experience is like, and how to clear those things. And talking about that is what we're going to do next week as our segment. And thanks God for that for us from love, and that we have all the gifts and tools, knowledge, wisdom, everything we need to do so with everybody for our segment next week. So if for everybody here, if you want to get your solar return chart, for next week together, think of it this way, okay? So for anybody who wants to come next week, so you have your chart and stuff ready, what you do is you do the year before you were born. Okay, and that is the year before your conception. Okay, so if I'm born October 19th, 1966, I'm going to go October 19th, 1965, the same time. But the place, right, is going to be the same. But then you're going to do where it says the solar return year, you are going to do the 1966, I believe, or the following year. Isn't that how it works?
Yes.
And if you know where your parents were before that, right? So that's if I'm born in Paterson, New Jersey, right? And my parents were in Ramsey, let's say, Ramsey, New Jersey. So that's where I'm going to put them in Ramsey, New Jersey, the most logical, likely space before I was born. Do you see? So if that was really confusing, this is what we're talking about in the solar return chart, going back a year. And then in the solar return, you're putting the actual birth year of you and your stuff, and you're just changing it up a little bit with the places and the year. It gets a little confusing, but what universe tells me is, because we try to wrap our head around in the traditional astrology way in Earth world, and it's really, we're using those formulas, but God is infinite. So all of these are just different variations of like the different tree of life. If you thought about different branches, different timelines of the energy that you go down. So there really is no wrong here. Whatever timeline, even if you fuck this up, whatever timeline you get onto, it's the one that you're supposed to be on, because you ask love for that. You ask God for that. And so that's why we call it God astrology, not just astrology. It's using all the formula of God or love to work with everything that is, and including and especially astrology. Okay, so it's going to be exciting next week. I'll put it together. It'll be easier when you see it, but we're going to talk about this so you can learn about what was going on with your parents, because a lot of us don't really know. And like I was talking to my kids, I can tell them because I'm still here, and I can say, hey, this is what was going on in your dad's life or my life. Like I might be able to remember some of those things, but they'll all be in the chart, and she will get some wisdom into who I was, who her father was, and it's really incredible stuff, and how those energies are in her. Do you see? Cool stuff. And then we can heal them, clear them, change them, or address them and learn about them and use this wisdom in whatever ways that is best for us from love. Really cool shit. So this is how you go back in time to bring stuff forward. Jumping timelines. Really cool stuff, isn't it? Yeah, really super cool. Okay, so we're going to do that next week. We're going to finish up with our questions tonight. Go ahead, Ray. What's the next question?
Maybe Andrew Karate.
Okay, hey, Andrew. What's up?
He said his younger brother has cancer of the lymph nodes. He's free of cancer right now, but still has to do chemo. He's wondering if his cancer is ever going to leave his brother for good or just keep coming back.
All right. This isn't unlike, the discussion I had with Kathy Warmack earlier, right? And this is why the medical field, in Earth World has a lot of transformation and change coming into the future, because until they work with this, they can't get the complete package for full, complete healing. And within that is your answer. So whatever time you have, right, is a gift. Okay, and this is for all of us. And I'm not saying this for Kathy Warmack to scare her. That's not what this is about. This is how they do it in Earth World medicine. Higher knowing is where we are and where we are going into the future. And the formula of medicine, there's natural medicines and different types of medicines. While the Earth World stuff, just like for Kathy Warmack or for your brother, this will help them for some time, it feels like, okay? But at some point in the energy, we all have to be responsible, for our stuff. And it doesn't mean that you guys aren't being responsible. It just means that there's a different way that things are truly supposed to be done, or done from higher knowing, the God's honest truth of it. There's different methods and different ways of healing in multiple different ways, infinitely. But in order to get to this space of healing, you got to do the work. Thank you for coming, you guys. Have a great night. Thanks. Oh, terrific. I would love that. Thank you. They're coming next week. Thanks again. Have a great night. Okay, so back to you, Andrew. And Kathy and your brother. So all I'm saying really is that highest knowing of love is where all the healing is for both Kathy and your brother. All right. Modern medicine will help her. They have so much ingenious gifts, but until they get to this space of God, they can't do the whole picture in its entirety. It's just not possible. And everything that I've gone through and have been going through with my own health and my own journey, I'm in a variation of a similar boat as to both Kathy Warmack and your brother, right? We all have health challenges and things that we have to address in our lives, okay? And, so each one of us also has different soul missions, different journeys, different understandings in reference to health. So the answer for all of us is going, me, Kathy, your brother, or everybody is going to higher knowing for your greatest health. And this is really for your brother and Kathy to have their greatest, longest, healthiest, best life. Okay. It behooves them to look into these avenues. It doesn't mean that the modern world can't help him. You already know in your heart what the answer is, Andrew. I know that. You're super gifted and super intuitive yourself. That's why you come on the show. But so your brother overall has, it's up to his soul really how long he wants to go on. It really is. But, alternative medicine is definitely something he should look in, but a lot of times people can't, and that's okay. And that's okay. So what you do is we say prayers, we ask universe that we don't get all wrapped up, and that we love them and we let them go and let them do their best journey and for their best healing and their best gifts, but we can't allow their journey to wrap us up in toxic for us, okay? Super important, because we love so many different people, and so powerfully and so strongly, but we also have our own lives to live. That's why universe is like, give it to God, give it to the angels, send love, send those things. And then realize, just like when my dad was really, really sick and he was in and out of the hospital, I knew that when he had his first accident and he came home with a bucket full of pills, and I thought, oh my God, he broke his back in 3 places, was in a coma for like 6 months, had to relearn to walk at the age of fucking 69. And it was incredible stuff. I mean, my dad's got some incredible will to live. So that's in the ancestry. That's a great gift, right? However, I knew when that happened to him that his time here in Earth world was short, that he didn't have a lot of time. So when that happens, I knew that in my heart. Now, not saying that is definite for your brother. Every situation is different, but you will be super in tune. And so you make the best of that energy, no matter what they choose in the care or who they are. You make the best of the energy and the time that you have with them from love. Okay. Because when that happened with my dad, I knew my time with him was not long of this world. And so what did I do? I wished, now looking back in hindsight, that I spent more time with him and that I did what I wanted to do more so, and just made the difference for myself, because there are times even now when I wish so much that I had him with me, and I could just hug him or have him hold me, and just give me advice or be my dad, and I even get teary-eyed about it like now. So I give people this guided advice from higher knowing in my soul's own journey, because it's profound wisdom, right? Because you will be so grateful down the road that you made the time for him, no matter what happens. You know what I mean? It's just like that Eagle song. It wasn't really wasted time. It's never wasted time. Okay. All right. So, Andrew, that's what's going on. I'm going to ask Rachel to say the question right now, so I make sure I covered everything for you.
I feel like you did. He was asking if his brother's cancer is going to leave him for good or just keep coming back.
Yeah. Well, the answer is right there. Unless he goes to higher knowing and decides to change things differently. I feel like he's going to have a battle with this. And that's for anybody with your health. If you can't find the answers, that are truly going to heal it or change it, it reoccurs. So, there's your answer. Okay, so make the best of it from love. And it doesn't mean that it's bad or it's detrimental or woe is me. No. You say, I love my brother, man, and let's live the greatest life. Yeah. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. All right. So who's next?
It is 8:42.
It's 8:42. Got 3 minutes. We got one more question. Go ahead, Ray.
Stephanie Bard.
Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for coming.
Yes,
all right.
She's super excited. She'd like to know about her guides. She'd like to know who they are.
Okay. All right. What's the God's honest truth, God? There's actually, when you say guides, Stephanie, everybody thinks that it's definitive, meaning it's the way we think in Earth World, right? But there's multiple guides here. There are 4 right now, very strong and powerful ones coming in for you. Let me just see. But a lot of people say, you have just one guide, you have just this, or you have just that, or 2 guides, but you have multiple energies at different times all throughout your life, especially the higher end God being souls. Things don't work in traditional Earth world as they do for most people at certain vibration, a general vibration in Earth world. So you're a little bit different, right? You're magical. Not that everybody isn't magical, everybody is, but you're a different kind of energy, okay? So when I say magical, that's what I mean, a different kind of magical energy, right? All right. That said, I see you as having 4 guides right now around you. It's funny because they kind of make like a square around you, and you and me, we've had a history together, and you've been through a long journey with this history, and there is 4 guides around you. And they make a square. I feel like they're really massively protecting you. Let me just ask about them, because you also have a whole bunch of other things going on. We have animals that come in, spirit animals. We have angels that come in as well. All right. Who are these guides, God? Interesting enough, there are 2 grandmothers and 2 grandfathers. 2 are from this life, and they tell me you know which ones they are, okay? And 2 are from past lives. So if you know their names, or you know those 2 from this lifetime, the other 2, I don't believe that you're consciously aware of them, but I do feel the names have come to you in dreams that you have had. One is Elizabeth, and the other one comes in, interesting, another name comes in too with this, comes in as Martha. An Elizabeth and a Martha, but also there are 2 male energies as well. And there's also names that come around with this, and I feel like these are children. These are children. There's one that goes by the name of Justin, and the other one goes by the name of Paul. Okay, and these are little kids. These are little kids, and I feel like they're younger. They're like 5, 6, 7, 8, and they're around you as well. And there's something, the reason they're around you is about your inner child, and as well as I feel they are also related to you as your children. Okay, and there's 2 of them. They're little boys. I feel like one is 5, 6, and the other one is 7, 8. Okay, and they're around you all the time. And if you ask, you can speak with them. And if you ask, they can come to see you in your dreams. Okay, and I feel like in the future, as crazy as this is, I feel like we're spinning off over here when you ask me about this question, but they really want me to tell you this because this is about your future. So, and it is about you writing books and having a relationship with your children that are not of this world, that are of multi-dimensional spaces, but they were your children children in this life at one time. And this is really important, you know, and I feel like you're going to, in the future, if you so choose, evolve a relationship and start writing and start talking with them and start talking to God and talking to love to, bring these energies in. They're already all around you. They're already waiting. They're already here. And this is going to help so many people into the future as part of your destiny and part of healing, because so many people have lost children, my sister included. You know, and thanks, Jen, for being so, you know, amazingly gifted or an understanding with it, you know, really, because it's hard. It's a hard journey. But this wisdom, I'm starting to cry if you aren't already.
She's trying to.
Yeah, Stephanie, and this is about healing, and this is going to help so many people. Me and you, our journey has really just begun with all of this. But this isn't about me. This is about you. This is about these kids. This is about you and your husband. This is about helping other people, because people think I don't have a relationship and my children are gone, or this is over and this can't happen and I'll never have that again. But through going through the astrology and working with them and working with God and working with love, all of this is going to change and become an incredible gift. And I see you, if you choose, this can be very special to you and very private between you and your husband and these energies that are your children. And it will also be, if you choose to share it with the world. And I see you doing public speaking. I see you writing books. I see you healing. All of this stuff is so incredible. It's so incredible. And sharing these gifts with the world, because the world so needs it. So needs it. What's she saying? Anything?
She's just saying so impactful. There's tears in her eyes.
Yeah. I'm like, oof. So this is such a blessing. The other two are our grandfather, father energies, and they've been in your life also for lifetimes. I feel like the two males are energies that are of past lives, these two grandfather energies. I feel like they are around, but you know, and they help you and they absolutely assist you. But I feel like your greatest right now, like I said, they come and go in different times. And what's interesting is I feel like they have the same names as your children. Okay. And what's wild about that is, hold on a minute. Wow. That's also part of the connection between them, because there's so much like these two grandfather energies from lifetimes. All right. These two kids are, which is going to help you, because they're going to talk to you about them and the kids are going to talk to you about them. And there's going to be a whole lot of really cool stuff going on, metaphysically, as well as physically in your earth world, like things like lights going on or music or things that they'll show you or leave you, or you'll go places and you'll feel like buying a toy and they will be directing you to buy that toy in earth world. Really neat stuff. And I feel like you'll be writing about this. But when I say there's multiple guides, they're not always around us all the time for different reasons. They come and they go, and just like the children. And this is a new chapter coming into your life. Super cool shit. Super cool. It's awesome. See, just awesome. All right. So, any other questions you have, you can always ask me, Stephanie, and you can also PM me. I know we got to wrap it up for tonight, but incredible wisdom. Thank you all for coming. We're going to take it where we left off tonight, and we will go into this timeline shift next week for all of us with the solar return chart and astrology. That ought to be a fucking blast. But I will warn you, we went into this the other day in my regular class, and we had some challenges with the people. And so, you know, just, you know, be ready. All right. So with the comprehension of this, because it is heavy, but it's really wicked cool. We're going to do this for next week. It's going to be super exciting and super fun. And we're going to look into this next Wednesday night, and we're going to answer any more questions that you guys got. So get it, or any wisdom or guidance behooves us. And we'll probably talk a little bit about any current affairs if they do come in, or you guys want to know anything, because there's always something happening, especially in 2023. Wild stuff always happening. All right. So that wraps it up for tonight. Thank you everybody for coming. Love you guys. Thanks for supporting us in all the ways that you do. Share our show, share our wisdom, share about our shopping center. If you need any groceries, groceries or you need any assistance in any way, this is what we do. We are in the Virginia Beach area, but if we can get it to you and help and assist you in multiple different ways, let us know. Just call us or contact us via personal messenger. That's also what we do. We're here to help everybody on all different levels from love. From love, okay? Thank you, everybody, and you have a great night, and we'll see you next Wednesday, and God bless you all forever. Thanks.